Hello, my name's Jess. I'm so glad you could all come in today to your relaxed dessert for your wedding cake tasting. Now, I know I've met the bride and the groom, but can you introduce the rest of the party? Okay, it's nice to meet you. Well, we have several different cakes for you to try today. So I hope you're all hungry. Let's start off with some of the lighter cakes, so with more of the vanilla and old-fashioned white cakes, and then move into a few heavier cakes, so you shouldn't feel too full too fast. I've gotten you all some water. At the end we can have coffee or tea if you'd like it, but usually for the tasting it's best to have water to cleanse your palate. Okay? Well, if it's okay with you, just have a seat, get comfortable, and we'll start the tasting. Okay? Great. So we're going to start off with just an old-fashioned white cake. There are several versions of this cake, and I know that you've chosen to have us use the raspberry preserves, but if for some reason you don't like the raspberry preserves, we also make this cake with apricot preserves, strawberry preserves, Meridian berry, orange, or mocha. So if one of those strike your fancy, if you cake but are not a big fan of the preserves, we can try one of the other preserves as well. Okay, so this is 4 layers of white cake with the raspberry preserves in between each layer, and over top a meringue buttercream. So why don't you go ahead and taste that, and I'll have a little bite myself. Oh, I'm glad you like that. It's a very classic wedding cake. It's a very common choice. You get to customize it a little bit with the preserves that you choose. But again, it's a very traditional, classic cake that most of your guests will like. It's rare to have somebody who really does not like just an old-fashioned white cake. You think you want another piece now, but wait until we're on to our 5th or 6th cake, and you'll be glad you didn't have another piece. Okay. Do you want to take a little drink before we start on the next cake? Okay. So this is a strawberry banana cake. It's 4 layers of moist banana cake with strawberry preserves and a cream cheese filling. And this is a way you can taste the strawberry preserves. If you like the white cake, but you don't like the raspberry preserves, this is what the strawberry preserve tastes like. And we can always make you another tasting of the white cake with a different kind of preserves if you like this, but you can't imagine what it would taste like without the banana cake. So have a taste of that. That's one of my favorites. I really like fruit, and I think the banana cake is really unique. It's not something that you're going to have at every wedding. But it's got the flip side. Some people aren't going to like banana cake, but you're the bride and groom, so it's really based on what you like. But sometimes people, when they do this cake, if they're having a very large wedding, what they will often do is have one large cake that's more traditional, and then sometimes in order to have enough cake for everyone, they will choose one or two other smaller cakes. So often people will do this as either one of the smaller cakes, or if they decide to do it as their large cake, they'll have a more traditional white cake or chocolate cake as one of their sides for people who don't like the banana cake. And isn't the cream cheese filling really decadent? Yeah. I love that cake. Okay, have a little drink. And now we're going to move on to the next cake in the tasting. This is a poppy seed citron. This has 4 layers of poppy seed cake with lemon citron and a cream cheese filling. Do you like that? I'm just going to take some notes here while we're talking. I want to be able to make any other suggestions based on what you like and don't like. Again, we can always do a second tasting if you like, certain kinds, but not certain fillings, or we can really play around with the different options. Yeah, a citron is kind of a custard, and it's usually lemon. Yeah, it's made from egg yolks and sugar. And it's a bit of a tartar filling than the preserves or the cream cheese, but I think it goes very well with the poppy seed cake. This is a really nice spring wedding cake because again it's got that little lemon citron, that little bite to it, and the poppy seed cake is light to go with it, so it's a really nice kind of, I think, a spring wedding cake. So I think it might work very well for you. Okay, so now we're going to move on to a special request that you had, which was for the red velvet cake. So this is 4 layers of red velvet cake layered with cream cheese filling. It's very traditional. It's a very traditional red velvet cake. Not a lot of people do red velvet cake for their wedding, but it's becoming more popular. Now, any of these that you like the red velvet cake, we can also make these into a really attractive smaller cake or cupcakes for a bridal shower as well. So I know a lot of brides are doing a tiered presentation of cupcakes for their bridal shower, and we have a very skilled artist here who does flowers that will go on top, sugar flowers that can go on top of each of the cupcakes. They're really gorgeous, and you can pick out, a lot of people pick out 3 or 4 different kinds of cake to have their cupcakes made out of, and the red velvet is very popular. So we would have a red velvet cake with the cream cheese frosting, and then we would have a sugar flower on top. But we also, again, like I said, are doing a lot more wedding cakes out of the red velvet as well. So I know you love red velvet cake, which is why I wanted to make sure to include it today. But again, it's becoming more popular, and it's fine to do something different. You don't have to do the same as everyone else does. I'm glad you like that. It is a great red velvet cake. If you like red velvet cake, we do really make a wonderful red velvet cake here. And do you want to have another sip of water? Okay. And next, we're going to try our really unique carrot cake. This is another one that makes a really great cupcake if you decide you would like cupcakes or a smaller cake for a bridal shower. This is 4 layers of moist carrot cake with walnuts, raisins, and chunks of pineapple. Yeah, that's what you're tasting. The pineapple isn't. It sounds like it might not go well, but it really is wonderful. And it's layered with a cream cheese filling. Do you like that? Good. Okay. And we've got a few more for you to try. So now we're going to try just a classical chocolate cake. This has 4 layers of chocolate cake with ganache and Belgian dark chocolate buttercream. So this is chocolate on chocolate on chocolate. So if you like the cake, but with the chocolate buttercream it's too much, we can also do a different kind of frosting. If you love the dark chocolate buttercream, we can also use that frosting on a white cake as well. I really like the chocolate on chocolate, but it is very rich, depending on what you're serving for dinner at your wedding. Sometimes this is too heavy for people. Other people really like this as a truly decadent closing to their wedding dinner. A lot of people who are not doing a full sit-down dinner but are doing hors d'oeuvres or something like that will sometimes choose a more filling cake like this. But again, it really is what you like. This is about your wedding, what you want. That's the most important thing. And again, if you're worried about guests, you can always do a few smaller cakes so that people have a choice if they don't want the chocolate on chocolate. Okay. Unfortunately, we are winding down. We have a few more for you to try. So, have a sip of water. And this is 3 layers. This is the this is the creamsicle cake. It's 2 layers of dark chocolate cake filled with a Belgian chocolate mousse, topped with orange mousse, and a slice of homemade white cake. So this is a really interesting cake because it's got the chocolate along with the white cake along with the orange mousse. So you really get the best of all worlds. It's a very rich cake. It's a very decadent cake. But again, it also gives people the option of, if they prefer the white cake is in there, the chocolate cake is in there, the extra fruit flavor is in there. It's really a fantastic and unique cake. You're not going to get a cake like that at every wedding. Yeah, it's really fantastic. And now I know you had requested a few really unique cakes, so we've put a few different kinds in there. And as our final cake, we're going to try the Jamaican Rum Torte. This is 3 layers of chocolate cake sprinkled with dark Jamaican rum syrup. It's layered with chocolate and mocha Bavarian. really fantastic. You're not going to get something like that at every wedding. It's really nice. But again, if you want something unique, this is unique. Again, with a cake like this, especially because of the alcohol in it, I might recommend having a second cake, at least one other small cake that people can try if they don't want to have the alcohol. Yeah, this is a cake that is incredible, but it is not going to be to everyone's liking. Because the alcohol, again, you have a lot of people who just don't want to have alcohol in their desserts, so it is usually good to have another option. We can also make the same kind of cake, but without the Jamaican rum syrup. So you can have a cake that looks very similar and just doesn't have the alcohol flavoring. And then if you did want to try any other cakes or cupcakes, we also do our other cupcake flavors of cake are lemon, coconut, and almond. We have all of those cakes. And then we also have European meringue buttercream icing in raspberry, strawberry, Marionberry, lemon, tangerine, vanilla, espresso, praline, Belgian white chocolate, Belgian dark chocolate, and then a cream cheese icing. So if you have one of these cakes that again you really liked, but you didn't like the pairing with the frosting, or you didn't like the pairing with the filling, we have lots of other options as well. But again, we've given you a lot to try today. Do you have one that stood out for you that you really like? What about you? Well, what we'll do is, based on the ones that you said you really like, I'm going to give you a box with the 3 cakes that overall you like the best. You can take it home. I know it's a lot of cake to taste at once, so sometimes it helps in narrowing down what you think you want to sort of, we'll narrow it down to 3 right now that you like. And you can take those home and do another tasting on your own when you're not quite so full from cake. And then you can taste that at your leisure. And if you do, again, want to try a different pairing after the second tasting, I'd be happy to do another full tasting with you with some other options. And then we can again talk about borders and talk about tiering. And if you did want to discuss bridal shower, Mom, you and I can discuss that, and we'll take it from there. Well, I'm so glad you guys could come in today. I'm so glad that we were able to set this up for you, and I'm glad you found cakes that you like. And I will get your box together, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.